It's cold. It's Minnesota. Can't smoke inside. Rules. This is going to be my post-political election analysis. And you know, I really like economics more than politics because I don't think people say, when people say I'm interested in politics, it's like saying I like to travel. It's not a big hobby. That's, you know, if your hobby is like I build rockets or I disassemble and reassemble classic cars, that's a hobby. You got me there. But when you say, well, I like politics, you know, dating profiles, stuff like that, not impressive. That's why I focus on economics. So here's my little 2 bits of economics. Sorry, pulling an Arini there. It's apparent that all you, not all of you, but more than half of you want socialism. Most of you don't even know what that is, even though you voted for it, electing Barack Obama and all that, so I'm not going to go into an economics lesson. What I am going to do is explain to you some simple stuff about what you've just voted in. In voting for socialism, you want the state, which is what we also call the government, that's what we call it in economic circles, to provide you guarantees and, in other words, take care of you. As Peggy Joseph said, you're happy because Barack Obama and whoever else is going to, you don't have to worry about your mortgage, your gas, your rent, your children, whatever. Government's going to take care of it. Okay, that's fine. But that's me. In other words, you're going to say, the state is going to take care of me. Well, I have bad news for all of you that voted in socialism. I am the state. Cuckoo, ka-choo. What I mean by that is most people, and this is a criticism of people who are Republicans and conservatives as well, most of you have never given much thought as to how the government can afford things and afford to give you free everything. I call it the GLIOC model, the Great Liberal Economic Oort Cloud. Some people call it something else. What it ultimately boils down to is a galactic ignorance on most people's part who are too damn lazy to look up a freaking federal budget or a state budget and think about economics and say, where does my money go and where does the money come from? Well, let me tell you, you're down here and you think Big Daddy Government or Big Barry O is going to take care of you because he promised you. Above Barry O, you don't know what's up here. I call it the GLIOC, according to the liberal mindset. It's this big Oort cloud that farts out jobs. It's very complex, and only really intelligent people like Barack Hussein Obama can figure it out. And he's going to pull from this Oort cloud because he knows what's going on. He's going to start giving you jobs or money or free health care, whatever. And you think, well, it's big rich people and the rich don't pay their fair share and da-da-da. And let's not study the budget. Let's not study government spending as a percentage of GDP. That's why we got B.O. right there. That's why we got Hussein right there. He'll figure that all out for us. Well, you got to keep the cherry going, otherwise it don't work. Let me explain to you what that Oort cloud is or what's even above the Oort cloud. Here's Barry. Here's the government. Here's the state. What you depend on, what you voted for to take care of you. Above that, where does the state get its money? Well, the state can't just print off money because that results in hyperinflation. I'm not going to go through another freaking economics lesson explaining that to you people. If you cannot explain why we can't print off more money, then you shouldn't be voting in the first place. But that's an aside. The government's got to get its money from somewhere, so where does it get it? Well, it gets it from people like me. Workers. People who work hard, give up parts of their finite life to go and earn a living, and you tax us. Tax us on our income, tax us on our capital gains, tax us on our property. You tax us everything. We fart, we tax. I'm surprised we don't have a fart tax, frankly, but, well, we got a gas tax. But, no, seriously, you tax every action in the economy. The larger point is that there are those of us who work real jobs, who produce real stuff. I'm not talking social workers and teachers, because you don't produce anything. I know it hurts, the truth hurts, but you don't really produce anything. Nobody wants to listen to an English teacher teaching English to people who speak English already. People want iPads and iPhones. They want engineers. People, they're paying $30 a gallon of gas. They're selling sex. People on Craigslist are offering sex for gas over on the East Coast. I don't think philosophy majors make gas. I think it's chemical engineers. But larger point aside, above Barack Obama and above the state gets its money from those of us who produce things for a living. Now, That means we are the state. I'm the state. Now, I know it's, of course, I'm joking. I don't mean I, Aaron Clary, am the state. And heck, even me, I've checked out. I'm not working. I'm working as little as I possibly can. Because I'm smart. But there are other people who make a hell of a lot more money than I do. There are other people who are, I wouldn't say more industrious, but they've gotten lucky, or maybe they are more industrious, whatever. These people are the Tony Starks of the world, the Bill Gates of the world, the Warren Buffetts of the world, the Jack Welchers of the world. The people that you hate because they're rich. There's no reason they're rich, is it? It's not like Steve Jobs produced anything you guys want. You don't go running to him like a heroin addict, do you? No, of course not, right? Regardless, there's a bunch of people who are actually doing the real production, and way beyond the level I'm doing. I barely make 20 grand a year. I'm just happy to get by, and if I make more than 20 grand, I stop, because I don't want to pay the taxes to support you. But there are other people who make millions and billions of dollars, and you hate them. So you're going to stick it to them. Well, you don't realize that you're sticking it to yourself. Because they're the ones that produce all the money and the wealth to pay the taxes to support the little socialist scheme you voted in. So they are the state. Don't be fooled. Don't fall for this socialism, communism BS, and everything's going to be free, and we're just going to pull stuff out of the great liberal economic horde cloud. You have alienated by electing this idiot and all these socialist idiots into office. They're going to punish the corporations just like you want them to. They're going to punish rich people. They're going to punish productive people just like you want them to. What do you think they're going to do? Now, not to toot my own horn. Let me give you a microcosmic example and personalize it. Not out of arrogance and cockiness so you can understand. I am the best damn credit analyst this planet has ever seen. I predicted the housing crash. If people had listened to me, would have prevented this little economic recession, depression we've had. That's worth at least $1.5 trillion. That would have made sure we didn't have an unemployment rate in double digits. Now, if I'm going to take those skills and talents and ever apply them, and actually get paid the wage I deserve, that's the other key thing, but that's an aside about how screwed up the American labor market is and how corrupt banking is, which I agree with you on that. If I were to ever get a job that pays that much at my skill level, are you kidding me? I'm not going to work. I'm not going to produce the money or the value for that. So good luck taxing me. I'm done. I've checked out. I have gone gold. Sorry, I had to get the trigger going there. It was not burning evenly. If you smoke cigars, you'll understand. Now, getting back to my point. I'm just one guy. And if we were to be intellectually honest, I know you write me off as some arrogant, cocky schmo. Knowing what I know about economics and finance and banking, I'm definitely worth about $2 million a year. And laugh as you might, I know, ha ha ha, but I guarantee you the banks that have lost way more than $2 million a year would have gladly paid me $2 million a year for the years I was employed to make sure they didn't lose $14, $50, or $60 million. But let's take me out of the equation. What do you think all the thousands and hundreds of thousands of millionaires and billionaires are going to do when you say, you, pay, mine, I don't want to pay for my student loans. I don't want to pay for my mortgage. I don't want to pay for my health care. I don't want to pay for my children. Me. And they're going to look at the tab. What do you think they're going to do? Well, I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to shut down just like me. They're not going to work because it's not going to be worth it. If anything, of course, I'm not a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They're going to move their corporate headquarters overseas. They're going to move their operations overseas, and they've already been doing it. But then again, something tells me you guys haven't been paying attention to the news or looking up the annual reports of different U.S.-based corporations now, have you? I know, it would take effort. You have to be intellectually honest. Additionally, here's another little thing. Have any of you ever calculated how much money the rich have? And how long it would last you if everything was paid for by those evil, greedy, rich people? Have you? Of course not. You guys, you dumbasses, haven't even looked at a federal budget. You don't even know what $1 trillion versus $1 billion versus $1 million is. Well, thankfully I have. Right now, and it depends on whose figures you want to use, there's $67 trillion worth of wealth by the rich. That's not total wealth of the United States, that's just the rich. Okay? And I did some number calculations, and I looked at how much money goes to wealth transfers and how much goes to socialist programs. And if we just hold it today, not what Barack Obama promises you, not what you'd like to have where everything is paid for, you know how long that $67 trillion would last? 12 years. You'd have 12 years. Now, understand this is a very optimistic number, 12 years. Because if it was made clear to these people, like yesterday when you all voted in socialism, that they're going to confiscate their money, they're going to take away their stocks, and you're going to tax 100%, whatever else crazy ideas you guys got, they wouldn't be able to liquidate their investments. They wouldn't be able to liquidate that $67 trillion. It's not like they got $67 trillion in cash laying around. It's invested in stocks and bonds and investments and property. So they can't sell it today like that. The value of their investments and their holdings would go down. Well, if you're going to tax them at 100%, I think it would go down to zero. I'm pretty sure about that, and I'm not even a doctorate in economics. I'm just that good and logical. So, you wouldn't even get the $67 trillion because by the time they would liquidate it or the government would confiscate it, to transfer it to you, its market value would plummet and you wouldn't last no 12 years. In other words, what you voted in is a system that's unsustainable because you've shut down the engine of economic growth, namely people like me on a microscopic level, but on a larger, grander scale, the hundreds of millions of people like me who pay and work every day and pay the taxes to support your lazy ass. Not to mention the entrepreneurs and the billionaires and the millionaires and the Tony Starks and the Bill Gates of the world who are going to get the hell out. Remember the Facebook kid? Remember he went off to Singapore? I wonder how much you forewent in terms of tax revenue when he said, I'm going to Singapore. I wonder if that is that connecting with you people at all? Do you see? But in other words, you're killing the host. And I mean this in a literal sense, not an insulting sense. I mean this in a literal sense. Think about it. If you're going to rely on other people to pay for your crap, you're a parasite. The other people who work up and produce to pay for your crap are the hosts. And if you're going to telepath your moves to them as a martial arts, you're going to telepath, you're going to tell them what you're going to do, they're going to leave. Don't believe me? Look at France. With Holland, the new president, 75% tax rate on the rich. They're fleeing. They're getting the hell out of Dodge. And I think the same might happen here. So, hey, if you want to repeat 1917 Soviet Russia all over again, go right ahead. I mean, I'm sorry that your teachers didn't educate you in anything that's really I know you all know to hate global warming and evil corporations, let's go green, and you haven't learned a drop of history or economics. That's all right, you're going to pay for it, because I don't got kids. You guys are younger than me, you're going to be on this country, this planet longer than I am, and you're going to get to live in the bed longer than I am, the bed that you made. But just keep in mind, I am the state, a little piece of it. All the world, the real workers and producers, they're the state, because we're the ones that pay the state and pay Barry Obama to give you our money. So you keep going, you keep voting. Glad you did a good job. Hooray for you. I'm sure you're all very happy. You have no fucking idea what's coming. And it isn't even going to be violent. It's just going to be reality and economics crushing you. But hey, So, toodles, kids.